I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this 330th. I love good, big, round numbers like that. I like the hundreds, the tens, the 20s, the 30s, the 50s. I like fives. I like that. That's fine too. You know, I just don't like the in-between numbers. 330, that's a good number. 330 episodes. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you're doing well. I hope everything has been going good. It is a Thursday evening. If you're watching this live, welcome to Thursday. That's generally my Friday, Kate's Friday. We'd normally have tomorrow off. We'd have the next day off, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask for you to do us the small little favor that we whore ourselves out to you every night asking. Please subscribe if you haven't and like if you do. Comment in the live chat box down below. And above all else, share the show with everyone you know. We would greatly appreciate your help in doing those things to help spread the message, to help feed the algorithms, and to do what we need to do so that we can spread this message far and wide and to get this message out, make government better, and above all else, so we can go viral, hit the big time, and become so stinking rich and forget each and every one of you little people that helped us along the way. That's the goal, obviously. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, to help us get there, we have an amazing episode in store for you this evening. I'll tell you, some of the better shows are the shows where I had something planned and just like lightning out of the sky from the great beyond, something happens and it totally changes up the plans just like that. You know what I mean? Those are the shows in which I kind of black out and just let whatever it is inside me take over. And we then produce for you all an amazing, amazing show. I will also tell you that obviously I don't think it's probably lost on anybody that, look, I'm a good guy. I might be an asshole, but I'm a good guy. I'm friendly. You know, I'm hard to get along with if you're a politician, Moreover, if you're a politician that does dirty, sneaky, lying, cheating stuff. But other than that, I'm a pretty good guy, even if I'm an asshole. Catherine Callahan is here. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. She has made her way to the comments. That's part of why I was running late tonight. I spent some time talking to her this evening. We had a lovely chat, checking in with my people. It's important to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important to check in with your people. And let me tell you, if no one is checking in with you, get a hold of somebody that will, and I can be that person. I can be that person if I need to be. It would be good for you to find your own people that can make sure that you're good. But the doc is our people. I was telling her that what's interesting is out of every 100 people that come to you that you think like will be part of the team to help make change, you normally will get one out of every 100 people. And that's how I have good people around me, like Kate and Niles and Brandon and his better half, and a team that I've got down in Newcastle, and then, of course, the doctor and others. So many people want to be involved, but it's not for everybody. One of my most notorious arch enemies famously has said, politics is not for the faint of heart. And man, I tell you, she is wrong so much, but the few and far between times when she's right, boy, is she right. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for everybody. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is probably one of the absolute biggest and best titles of a show that I have ever made. Ever in my entire life. Of all of the Bilberry Lives, the old original Bilberry Lives, before Perception is Reality, of all of the Perception is Reality, of all of the other Bilberry Live, of all of the Live at 8:35, Live at 9:35, Bilberry Live again, the Bastards of Politics, and for all of the 330 shows that we've done here. Tonight, the episode title fits, and I have such an amazing thumbnail in mind. I just couldn't yet again get the thumbnail out. When we're done with the show tonight, I'm going to work on the thumbnail for last night and work on the thumbnail for tonight. Get those up because I can't just let them be. I've got to add them to it. They will be there. Tonight's episode 330. If you're watching this tonight, it's fantastic. If you're watching this in the future, that's fine too. I guess I should stop saying tonight. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, that whole thing. Yada, yada, yada. The name of the episode is Tapped for Transition, but will it lead to a position? Tapped, not trapped. Tapped. Tapped for transition, but will it lead to a position? This is the favorite part of my day, when I get to come on and talk to you guys and talk to you about something that I'm absolutely passionate about and that I absolutely love. See, I was just talking to Catherine about, this is my job. This is what I do for living. This is what I do for work. This is, what makes my life go round. And, a lot of people are like, well, that's not bad. We're spending 2 hours working, an hour and a half or whatever. If it was only that, that would be amazing, but it's not that. It's all of the other work. Sometimes my days last like 28 hours, 29 hours a day, you know. I put in some quite long hours at this. And you know, this is my favorite thing. Favorite part of this job is the content, is talking to you guys and putting the information out there and hopefully opening people's eyes and making people aware. My second favorite thing Joe Black. My second favorite thing is when time tells. And what I mean by that, that's a polite way of saying when I'm proven right. When I'm proven right, it's good. Now, I'm telling you, and you guys probably haven't even thought about it anymore, but last night I made a boo-boo. And I was so proud of myself too. And then, man, when it hurts, man, it really, really, really hurts. And when I came on saying that stupid crap about Matt Gaetz, and I got him mixed up with Eric Swalwell, I'm telling you, you guys spent exactly 30 seconds thinking about that. I've been thinking about that since it happened, and it's been hurting me ever since. Because I understand, and Catherine will know what I'm talking about. Kate knows what I'm talking about. When you say something that's wrong doing this line of work, and your detractors hear you say something wrong, when you say something and it doesn't turn out the way that you say it, dude, they like to rub that in and rub it in and rub it in. And it doesn't matter if it's like just a really small little boob. It could be something as small as me saying today's Tuesday and not Thursday or something like that. But specifically, when you say something that's kind of big, like a political oopsie, that you say, like, you know, one of the probably my largest mess ups is when I was talking about the fact that Dan Ridenour did not take the solar project to the council for the property, that the old GM property, and that the council never voted on it. And Dan led me to believe that. I had talked about it for a while. Yeah, I mess up days all the time. Yeah, that is absolutely right. Sometimes I mess up months at a time. But Dan even led me to believe that in conversation with him, and he just let me go. And I, you know, I shouldn't have been wrong. I should have known. But when I found out that I had been in the wrong, and I had been in the wrong for several months, dude, that was like such a punch to the gut. But I took it like we do. I talked about it. I apologized to Dan. I did a whole show on it. And, you know, I sent an email and communicated with him directly and did what I needed to do. And I made that right. But they love to hammer me for that. You know, that's one of the things that they used for a long time of, you know, why people just should not listen to me, because I just say blah, 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 blah. But I think about all of the other things that I put out that I'm right about, that I know, you know, days and weeks and months in advance, and I'm able to talk to you guys about and bring to you a transparency and an accountability that we're supposed to be getting from the government. Well, folks, one of those things that I have been talking to you about since the first week of February of this year when we found out that Mr. Bradley Bookout was going to put his name in the running for Delaware County Council at large, one of the things that I have been saying since then was he is, in my opinion, a bullshit candidate. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, I fully believe, and I have fully believed since he filed, that the main purpose of him running was to do two things. One, it was to hurt Ryan Webb and make it harder for Webb to be able to be in that top three. Because keep in mind, folks, we're not talking about district. We're not talking about council races within the district. When it's a district race, it's one person running against one person. So you have one Republican running against one Democrat, or you have one Democrat running against one Republican, or you might have a Republican, a Democrat, and a Libertarian running, all right? And sometimes none of them are the seat holder. Sometimes it's an open seat. The district person isn't running, and so you have 2 or 3 new candidates running. But a lot of times you'll have the incumbent running, so there's a Republican in the District 1 or District 4, whatever seat or whatever it is, and they're running for re-election. So whatever the other party is will be running a challenger, all right? In this case, in this election, it was the at-large seats. And in Indiana, specifically speaking in Indiana, county councils have 3 at-large council seats. So you have 3 people on the council that's at large. In Delaware County, we have 3 Republicans at large. In Delaware County, all of our county council is Republican. The District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, and then the 3 at-large seats. County councils are made up of 7 members. City councils in a second-class city are made up of 5 to 9 council members, or so it could be 7, it could be 9. And your third-class cities are made up of 3 or 5 council members, okay? And so, like in Winchester, they have 1 district, 2 district, 3 district, 4 district, and then they have an at-large. In the city of Muncie, we have 6 districts, 1 through 6, and then we have 3 at large, so there's 9. And then for the counties, Delaware County, Madison County, Henry County, Randolph County, all of the counties, at least in East Central Indiana, are a 7-person council, and there are 3 at-large council seats. And our at-large councilors in Delaware County currently, not talking about the election, but in this 4-year term, are Jessica Piper, the highlighter queen. Okay. And what it was Jessica Piper, Jane Lassiter, and Ryan Webb. Unfortunately, no, wait a minute. No, who's the other one that went out? Oh, no, Scott Alexander. Sorry. About got confused. Okay. Jane Lassiter was District 4, and when she unfortunately passed away, Mr. Stake, Jim Mokel, took over for her. And when Scott Alexander, that's right. So the original seat was the 3 at-large members was Scott Alexander, Jessica Piper, the highlighter queen, and Ryan Webb. Well, 2 years ago, in 2022, Alexander ran for District 27 District 26, 27, one of those two. Yeah, 26, District 26, Indiana and Randolph County, or Muncie and Randolph County, Delaware County and Randolph County. Sorry, I'll get there. District 26 state senator. So he gave up his seat. And when he gave up his seat, Delaware County farmer Eugene Whitehead was caucused in by the Republican Party to take over for him. So our current makeup in Delaware County is Jessica Piper, the highlighter queen, at large, Eugene Whitehead, at large, and Ryan Webb. Well, in this election that just ran, we elected for those seats. And the winners of those seats that just happened here last week, a week and a half ago, was Republican Jessica Piper. She retained her seat. Eugene Whitehead retained his seat. And then a challenger by the name of Bradley Bookout, who's a former Democrat turned Republican, and he won the seat. Ryan is currently a lame duck at-large counselor. He was not in the general election in November because he did not win the primary. He was beaten the primary. And back in February, when these candidates ran, you had several people that ran. Go on with your message. Keep going with your message. I'm going to keep going. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the election board meeting would be I guess I'll pause here for 1 second. The election board meeting would be to vote on the provisional ballots. To vote on the provisional ballots and to certify the election. Delaware County's election board meetings tomorrow. Henry County has an election board meeting tomorrow. I assumed Madison County's would be tomorrow. I guess I should have talked to you about that earlier. I assumed it would be tomorrow because a lot of other, I think Randolph County's is probably tomorrow. Oh, and the Anderson City Council is still going at 9:30. That's crazy. Keep me up to date on that, and I'll see what's going on tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow is a big, big day. Let me know, and maybe I can go. Delaware County's is in the morning. I'm not going to be able to attend Delaware County's, but there's no real reason to go. The only all they're going to do tomorrow is certify the election. Now, people need to be there. People need to be there. It's very important for people to be there. These are the big meetings for people to go to because you want to watch what they're doing and see what they're doing and make sure what they're doing. But what they're going to be doing is deciding on whether or not they're going to allow provisional ballots to stand. At the end of the day, will any of these provisional ballots change the election? Everyone's vote should count, and whatever the deal is there, I fully believe in that. But that's what's going to happen. That's a very good possibility what you're saying there, Catherine. They could be doing a lot. I mean, tomorrow's going to be an important. Tomorrow would be important for you guys. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. You need to go and look and see if it's posted on the Madison County. Someone needs to go look and see if it's posted on the doors. Someone needs to look and see if it's posted online and do all of that. Yeah, people do need to be there. That's very important. I will talk to you if you'll be up after I get off. I'll call you about it. If you'll be up when I get off here. Okay. So going back to this, there were a lot of candidates that came out. There was one person that filed that never did anything. Lori Jesse. She was a paper-only candidate. Amber Green ran. Ryan. All three of the incumbents ran. Jessica, Ryan, Eugene. So those three people ran. Lori Jesse ran. She's the daughter of the former Delaware County Councilor Ron Quakenbush. She ran. Amber Green ran. And Bookout ran. And Dave Williams ran. And they all ran on the Republican ticket. We're only talking about the Republican ticket right now. There were two Democrats that ran, and so both of them got through the primary, and then both of them were in the general. And basically, you normally would have 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans. This time you only had 2 Democrats and 3 Republicans. And then out of those 5 people, your top 3 vote getters win. Well, I've said since February that Bookout was not a serious candidate, that he was running, number one, to pad the vote to help Jessica because Jessica was afraid. And number 2, he was running because the same way that he was padding Jessica, he would make it a little bit more difficult for Ryan. And the thought was, if he beat Ryan, good for him, because if Ryan lost, chances are Jessica would be able to pull it out in one of the other seats. But if for some reason Jessica didn't win and Bookout won, he could then resign his seat. And if he resigned his seat, that would allow for the Republicans to hold a caucus, for Jessica to put in for the caucus, and for the Republicans to say, oh, look, the caucus, she won the caucus and she's back on the council. Or if she won and Bookout happened to beat Ryan or whatever, that he could then resign, and that could allow, I don't know, James King to be put on the council if he lost his commissioner's race, which he then did. And so that's an option. Or, as Ed has thrown out, it would allow for Bookout, if he won, to resign his seat. And that would allow them to put Mike Jones in as a Republican, which is insane because we're talking about James King, we're talking about Mike Jones, we're talking about Brad Bookout. All 3 of these guys are Democrats. So why we're talking about putting any of them in as a Republican is insane to me. We shouldn't be, but alas, here we are. So he won, Bookout won. We tried to make him be accountable the same way that Troy Ingram was accountable, the same way that Isaac Miller was accountable, the same way that all these people should be accountable. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If they're able to kick people off from running because of Scribner's errors and mistakes, then it should work when it's us kicking their people off, but yet it doesn't. And if they're able to keep their people on for small mistakes like that, well, then we ought to be able to as well. But you see how that works. So I filed against Bookout. He didn't have a notary signature and all that information. And they're like, oh, that doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Absolutely insane to me, right? Whatever. We all saw that play out. We knew the fix was in. So Bookout won, and we've been saying, and when I say we, I mean a small group of people have been saying, like, we're afraid that Bookout's running just to be like a placeholder for somebody. And I've been saying like this for quite some time. Now, the thought was if he won, he would just resign. And then in about July, the rumor started going around that Mr. Bookout was getting cozy with the Braun campaign, that he was getting smoochy with Team Braun, the guy that was running for governor. And Braun won. Braun is now governor-elect, okay? And the night that Braun won, Tuesday night, it might have been that night, or at least it was within 12 hours. It very well could have been within 12 hours. Within 12 hours of winning, Braun announced his transition team. Okay, within 12 hours of running, Braun named his transition team. And that's not anything that's crazy. That's that's expected. If he was running, he knew who he wanted, to be basically where he wanted those people to be. You know what I mean? It's really, it's not the same thing as like running for president. And even those people know, you know what I mean? And so it was announced. I mean, this was announced by 11 o'clock on November 6th. Braun put out a statement where he was announcing his team. And the Braun started by saying, "I'm in it to actually get some things done." U.S. Senator Mike Braun, who became Indiana's governor-elect on Wednesday after Tuesday's election results, won with 55% of the vote in Tuesday's election. Now, listen, I don't consider that a mandate. Everybody, everywhere, specifically at 93.1 WIBC, has been calling this a mandate. Oh, he's got a mandate. Oh, he's got a mandate. Man, look, that's not a mandate. I don't think that's a mandate. That's just me. All right. It's not everybody, because Tony Katz also held Braun's feet to the fire, saying, I don't consider using that word necessarily in this situation. And I applaud Tony for that, because I believe Tony's the only one there not calling it a mandate. So hats off to you, sir. Braun's Democratic challenger, Jennifer McCormick, the state's former superintendent of public instruction, as a Republican, received almost 41% of the vote, while my good friend Donald Rainwater, the Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, received around 4.6% of the vote. According to the previous reports, Braun first announced his run for governor in December of 2022. Since then, Braun overcame a crowded Republican primary where he was not the pick. They did not want him to win. Keep in mind that Braun himself, now a Republican, used to be a Democrat. Since then, Braun and his sidekick, the boy wonder, Micah Beckwith, who is his lieutenant governor-elect, advocated for several issues throughout the campaign, including public safety, inflation, education, agriculture. Now, what's interesting to me is in this presser that Braun put out, Kate, I want to say this again, and I would... Tony, wait, Tim, are you talking about the sheriff, sir? Because if so, I agree with you. If so, I agree. Now, I want to read this to you really quick here. Oh, hold on. Wait, put this down here. This isn't the thing yet. Tony Katz. Oh, yes. Ha! Yeah, Tony Katz. Sorry, went completely out of my mind. Yes, you are right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you this real quick here, Kate. When you listen to this presser that Braun put out, since then, Braun and Micah Beckwith, his lieutenant governor-elect, advocated for several issues throughout the campaign, including public safety, inflation, education, and agriculture. What is something that you don't hear?
Property taxes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, we said it was bullshit. The plan sucked. And there was no way it was going to get implemented. We said that.
Yeah, it's really strange because they keep saying Senate Bill 1, House Bill 0001, whatever the numbers will be, is going to be property tax. I don't see it happening. They keep saying it all they want, but
it's not going to happen.
I don't
see
it
only
happening.
Did that because rainwater was picking up steam by having one.
Yeah.
Because that was what they all ran on in 2020 and 2022, and none of them have done a fucking thing.
Yep. That's true. That's true. Absolutely. I just think it's interesting because this is not me saying this. This is Braun's presser, and he doesn't mention in the presser property tax at that point. Okay, now we're not going on. Maybe we'll see it going down. I'm just saying right there in that line, it's not mentioned, which is strange. In a news conference with members of the media Wednesday afternoon, Braun said he sees being the state's governor as a platter of opportunity. That's a weird thing to say. I've heard him say that a couple times, that he was tired of being senator in Washington, D.C. because he wasn't being able to accomplish anything. And so he decided to come back and run as governor because he looked at it as a platter of opportunity. That's strange. Does he mean a platter of opportunity to get things done for the Hoosiers? Or does he mean a platter of opportunity to put himself in a better position and make him and his friends a little bit better off? I just think that's a weird thing. Words matter. Actions matter more, but words do matter. And if I was running, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I was doing this thing over here, but I saw coming back and doing this to be a platter of opportunity. That just sounds weird to me. Focusing on issues including healthcare reform, education, investment. Listen to this. Focusing on issues including healthcare reform, education investment, as well as investment in rural broadband and affordable housing. Listen, all of those things matter and all of those things are important. But the one thing that citizens hands down have talked to these people about, no matter if they are in Gary or if they are in Evansville or if they are in Scott County or if they are in Allen County, has been property tax. But now we've got two whole lines of things that he's concerned about, and they've not mentioned property tax. Where is it at, Mr. Kendall? Where's the big property tax? Before you slide off to vacation for a month, Rob, I would like to know what's going on with this. Braun's goal is to focus on these kitchen table issues in an entrepreneurial way while approaching them with fiscal responsibility. That's great. As Indiana's governor, Braun said he will bring his collective experience in public service, from his school board and state legislature experience to his 6 years as U.S. Senate, and pair it with his business experience. When asked about Beckwith and his role in the administration, Braun said that Beckwith's addition was beneficial in helping unify the Republican Party, bringing with him the passion of the conservative movement. kind of wish maybe our governor would be a conservative. I wish he wouldn't need some kind of boy wonder to be the conservative. They're like, no, you be the conservative. No, you be the conservative. This is like when Stuart Sutcliffe died of the brain hemorrhage in Hamburg and left the Beatles, and they were fighting over which one was going to play bass guitar, and Paul got stuck with it. And the bassist always sucks. Nobody wants to be the bass player. John's like, I'm not going to do it. They're like, you be the conservative. No, you be the conservative. We'll flip for it. Braun said Beckwith will have input as the state's lieutenant governor. But at the same time, he was crossing his fingers, but stressed that he will have his own duties. Braun emphasized that he himself will be the one setting the overall agenda for the state with the public's help. And that is code for we've got an office down under the stairs. There's no heat. There's no air conditioning. And that's where we're going to stick Beckwith. And that's where we expect him to stay. All right. He's lieutenant governor. He can talk about that on his podcast. His buddy down at the radio station can talk about it. They can keep holding hands and being kumbaya all they want. Shut up. I'm the governor now. I'm the boss. That's what we're being told here. Braun spent some time talking about reforming healthcare in the state of Indiana. While he said it has some political risk to it, it's an issue where the state of Indiana can perform better. Braun specifically highlighted Indiana's shameful infant and maternal mortality rates. Those percentages are shameful. Our general health as a state and the cost of it is something that we get that correct. We get that correct. That will singly be better than what we've done collectively over many generations of past governors, Braun said. At the end of the day, Braun said that social issues are ones that create division and change over time. Freedom and opportunity issues, along with kitchen table issues, are the ones that are important to prioritize, which he cited as one of the reasons he was victorious Tuesday. Braun said he would face those issues without borrowing money, and he would impact future Hoosier generations. I've been clear. I've laid out 7 or 8 particular things, he said. Everyone will have an opinion on the issues that divide us. Everyone should be interested in making sure that we are spending our education dollars correctly, or we have a healthcare that's done correctly. There's plenty of stuff to get busy with, Braun said. I'm going to be focusing on what I bring to the table, experience, problem solving, and making Hoosiers' lives better across the board. And that, my friends, wrapped up the governor's first presser, in which he did not mention property tax, not once, not one single damn time. Anybody out there? Property tax? Property tax, Mr. Braun? Property tax? Beckwith? Rob? Right. Rob's going to be the communications director, right? Braun's transition team announced. On Wednesday, Braun announced his transition and inaugural leadership team. The team will lead Braun's transition from candidate to governor early next year. Braun will be taking over the position from current Indiana Governor Eric Eli Lilly lives in my pocket Holcomb, who was unable to run for re-election because of the state's term limit laws. Thank God. The transition team and inaugural committee will focus on key priorities, according to the news release from Braun's team, as well as policy development, agency reviews, and the planning of inaugural events and celebrations. Who gives a damn? Let's get to work. I think whoever we have on the transition team will be people who understand that it's going to be my vision of being an entrepreneurial governor that's going to be the conservative on the fiscal side, but very entrepreneurial on problem-fixing side, Braun said. And when it comes to how we run my business or my Senate office, it's going to be the same thing. So basically bland, milquetoast of no interest, nothing exciting, doing nothing that rocks the boat. It's going to be very much the same. This is going to be Holcomb 2.0, folks. He's telling us here. All right. So first up, Victor Smith, a partner in the business services and gubernatorial services groups at Bose, McKinney, and Evans, a big law firm in Indianapolis that handles a lot of government folks. He will be leading the transition team. Okay. Smith previously served as Indiana's Secretary of Commerce under former Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Joshua Kelly, Braun's chief of staff in the United States Senate, will serve as the transition director. According to the release, Anne Hathaway, not the movie star, but the former chairwoman of the 2024 Republican National Convention and the former head of the Republican Party for like a season, will serve as the chairwoman of the inaugural committee, while Emily Daniels Spalding will serve as the inaugural director. The vice chairs of Braun's transition team also include, these are a couple of interesting people, Betsy Wiley, president and CEO of Hoosiers for Quality Education and the former chief of staff for Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels. I actually don't have too much of a problem with her. Jim Bopp, a Terre Haute-based attorney who is an absolute weirdo. Okay. Ryan Kitchell, chairman of the governor's workforce cabinet under Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb and the former director of the Indiana Office of Management and Budget under Governor Daniels. James Perucker, president of John Frick and Associates. All right. And Brad Reiki, former deputy press secretary for Governor Daniels and former director of cabinet communications for the former President Donald Trump. It doesn't say, I guess he's just going to be a vice chair. He's also going to be the communications person. Randy Head, which if you don't know who Randy Head is, he is the Logansport-based former state senator. He's an attorney, and he's currently the chairman of the Indiana State Republican Committee. All right. Yay. He's what establishment, and more establishment, folks. Matt Bell, who I think is the former bass player for Weezer, a former state representative from Fort Wayne, and then Dan Dumzich. I could have said some mean things there. I won't. A former state representative from Northwest Indiana and retired partner and tax attorney. Okay. Now's the time when the real work begins, when we can show Hoosiers the type of stewards that we will be with all the trust placed within us. Braun said that in the release, I am honored to have assembled such an exceptional team of individuals who bring a wealth of experience, expertise, and shared commitment to serving the people of Indiana. All right. Now, I do have to just really briefly, again, tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that nothing there, again, said anything about property tax. Isn't that so strange? Nothing said anything about property tax there. Blows my mind. Now, here, ladies and gentlemen, is when we get into the real shit, the main topic. I mean, I'll be honest, it's kind of shifted. The main topic of the show was Brad Bookout and the deal in Delaware County, and that's for my Delaware County folks. You know, we've not talked about the city of Muncie or Delaware County a lot here in the last couple of weeks with the election and everything going on. But there's not been a lot going on. But then this happened today, and I thought, ding, 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 ding. This is big for Delaware County. And while that's a big part, this deal with the property tax is like starting to really kind of take the cake. So that's the main part here. But now we're getting in to this Bookout situation. Why are we talking about Bookout? I didn't name Bookout in any of that craziness. Did you hear me name Bookout's name? Bookout wasn't listed in any of that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a press release that I received today. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As hated as I am, being a nobody, being the troll from the basement, the only upstairs basement in the world, imagine that I do get press releases from these folks. You know, it's just something that happens. You know, someone somewhere believes that we have a message and that we get it out and that people listen. I know that, you know, I ought to go in on YouTube and turn off where people can see how many views and people watch and listen, because everybody gets so bent on that. Everyone's like, well, there's only 27 people watching right now. Okay, but what about the other 1,200 people that'll watch by the morning? What about the, 3,000 people that's going to listen on the audio side? What about the, 5,500 people that'll watch on Twitter? Folks, it's a little bit bigger than 40 people on YouTube Live. You know what I mean? I'm fine with 40 people on YouTube Live. Again, this isn't about clicks and views. One of these days, we're going to go viral and we'll be, I won't be able to get my head through the doorway, but at least people will listen, because that's what it truly is about. I don't care about money or fame or people knowing me. I care about people being educated about what the hell's going on, because these people keep selling you all a bunch of goods, a bill of goods, and you all keep buying it and electing the same damn people over and over and over and over. And it's all good and fine to say, well, you get what you get. Elections have consequences. But here's the thing. I'm voting the right way, and I'm still getting bit by it. I get bit by what everybody else is doing. There are some good people that run, and we still just don't give them the option. That's what sucks. We got to get people over the line. Well, let me read you this press release that came out today. That'll be tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow when we go viral. Yeah, that's a very good possibility. Hey, mind you, we will take just a real quick break from all of this insanity to remind everybody that tomorrow at a very special time, 1 hour early. So don't come in at 9:00 because you will miss it by an hour. We will be on at 8 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, November 15th. Okay, we will be on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about the Westdell community wastewater issues. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we've hyped this up so much, I'm literally scared shitless. This is going to be the very first episode I'm actually going to be scared of.
Well, and it's going to be fun because we're going to be able to post a link for everyone. So you'll be able to actually view all of these documents.
All of the documents. We're going to have
we're going to have a link available.
Tell them about that
at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
To our Google Drive, so that you'll be able to look at every single piece of note, every single document that's come in.
I would highly recommend for anybody that is capable of watching tomorrow's show on your laptop or having a laptop handy, because as she's saying, we're going to provide a Google Docs drive, and we're going to put, it's already there. We're going to release it.
It's already made and ready to go. We'll share it at the beginning of the show and put it up periodically for you all, so that way you can hop in and you'll be able to see all the documents that we're talking about tomorrow. And it's like 70 documents.
It's like 70 some different documents we're going to be looking at.
So, those will all be available. So if you can't see it, you'll be able to pull it up anytime you want to go through them, look at them, read them, and double check that we're not, feeding you a line of shit.
Yeah. That'll be big. So, and maybe if that's something that you guys like, we can talk about ways to do that more on other documents or whatever. We are going to put the documents up on the screen while we're going along. Is there anything that we, the people, can do to influence who gets named to replace Bookout? Well, okay, so yes and no. Number one, I'm going to tell you that I'm just going to tell you my thoughts on this. All right. So first of all, we are not one. I'm going to be clear on this. There's still a possibility that he's not going to or ask who we don't want to replace Bookout with. Yeah. You can. Okay. So first of all, it's still. I'm telling you that I'm closer to being right. There's still a possibility that this doesn't end with him doing that, and he just says, no, I can do all, and they talk to their attorneys, and everyone says it's not a conflict. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that Bookout being a council member elect and being a contract holder that gets paid a shit ton of money for his involvement with the county, I think that's a conflict. I don't think that those things should be able to work. But Little Miss Highlighter Queen thinks that it's okay, doesn't think there's a problem with it, and I think she's got her people to say. Now, again, there's a difference between what's technically legal and what we're okay with. Again, that's why I say, it's the floor in law. It's the floor, not the ceiling. Being just barely over the line of it's okay. It's just barely okay. Well, to me, that's not okay. You know what I mean? That's just not okay. All right. So if Bookout does in fact end up resigning and leaving that seat empty, vacant, the Republicans will be able to caucus. Now, I guess that's a good thing. He's a Democrat. He turned Republican. It is what it is. The Republicans, because he's Republican now, because he claims he's a Republican, they will hold a caucus. And basically, any Republican in Delaware County, because it's an at-large seat, so any Republican, anyone that fits the bill of being a Republican, if you voted in two primaries, in the two most recent primaries, or you voted in the last two primaries that you voted in, it doesn't have to be, you didn't have to vote even this year. You could have voted in the last two primaries ago, but as long as you voted in two consecutive primaries, then you can put your name in and they will caucus you, which means the precinct committee people of Delaware County will get together and they will hold a secret ballot and they will vote. I'm telling you that I look for this to happen. I look for Ryan Webb to put his name in. I look for maybe Amber Green to put her name in. I don't know if she will or not because of the position she's got. I think that she's going to. It just depends. I don't know. I looked for maybe the Jacob Case to put his name in. I looked maybe for Brad Marshall to put his name in. Maybe Ed Carroll's son. I don't know. And then again, we could see like James King could put his name in. Mike Jones could put his name in. And I'm going to tell you, this is where Ed said that Ed, the party chairman, who I think should resign as party chair as soon as possible. He should resign tomorrow before any of this ever even happens. He said he would do whatever he could to make sure that if this happened or if a vacancy came open, that he would do whatever to put James King in the spot or Mike Jones. And I'm just going to tell you, we need to tell everybody that's listening, neither one of those names are okay by us to be in this position or any other. But like, for example, I'm just going to tell you right here, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. I think out of everyone that I've named, Ryan Webb should probably get the seat. He would have, and depending on who runs, he's actually ran for this office. He has received votes for this specific office in this election because he received votes in the primary. And he has been the most fresh with what's going on in the council. And so to me, he would be my pick of who I would say. And take out all of the social stuff and his commentary, whether you like it or don't like it. I'm just talking from a standpoint of transparency, a standpoint of questioning what goes on and keeping the public aware of what's going on. He's my pick. And as producer Kate said, he got 4th in the primary. So I would say Ryan, but there will be pros and cons. What you can do is you can contact anyone that is a precinct committee person that you know that's a Republican and tell them what you would like them to do. Specifically, you can tell your precinct committee people, but you can tell them all. And you can tell members within the Republican Party. You can tell the people that are elected officials, hey, if specifically those that are in tune with what goes on in the party, the Matt Kanses, the sheriff, Sherry Riggin, just any Republican candidate, you just be like, look, this is what because we know that a large percentage of these people are also precinct committee people. So that's what you can do. You can make your voice be known. I like these and I don't like them because these seats get filled by a small percentage of the Delaware County population. You know, the city of Muncie in the last 4 years at one point had 6 counselors on the council that had been caucused. It was nuts. That means over a majority, a super majority of the council had not been elected by the public at large, which is just mind-boggling. So it is what it is. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves because I need to talk to you about what's even going on here. So today, Braun released, his team announced something different, and it was quite interesting. Braun's team announced, this is for immediate release. This is Governor-Elect Mike Braun announces transition council leadership. Well, what the hell is, all right, David LaRue. Hey, he could put his name in. There's nothing wrong with that. You mean you nominate him to put his name in? He's got as good a shot as anybody. Absolutely. Governor-Elect Mike Braun transition team for immediate release. Governor-Elect Mike Braun announces transition council leadership. Indianapolis, Indiana, November 14th, 2024. Today, Governor-Elect Mike Braun announced the formation of the transition councils, along with their appointed leadership and membership to guide state agency views. Okay. This is very, very interesting. All right. Let me pull this up here real quick. All right. Whoops. Did I kill us? I did. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted the other thing. Let me see if I can get that back. Give me 1 second because I can blow it up better. Yeah, here we are. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. All right. You guys can see that well. Yeah, good. Okay. So there's going to be a transition councils. There's going to be 12 of them. That's quite a large number. Okay, what are we talking about here? All right, this a formation of transition councils, along with their appointed leadership and members, to guide state agency reviews, drive policy development across Indiana's government, and prepare the Braun administration to implement a bold agenda from day one. The transition council leaders and members bring valuable expertise from diverse sectors, including business, public service, education, healthcare, natural resources, and constituent services. Each council will play a central role in creating streamlined, effective solutions that evaluate state government impacts on on the lives of Hoosiers. Boy, this sounds very conservative to me. It sounds like he's growing the government. This is quite amazing. To build an effective government that serves all Hoosier residents, we need the best minds and most experienced leaders at the table, said Governor-Elect Braun. These distinguished individuals bring decades of public and private sector expertise to ensure a smooth and impactful transition. You know, there is nothing wrong in life with asking people who know more than you their opinion and their thoughts on subject matter that you just simply don't know everything on. There's nothing wrong with that. I like that. And I like somebody that says, look, I don't know it all and I need help from people. I like having advisors around me. However, it can be a crutch, a handicap, and it can be just downright comical when your use of these people gets so large that you need like 2 Titanic ships to get all of these people just from location to location. If you're so out of touch with what should be going on that you need, you know, a whole Titanic's worth of people to be part of your advisor group, I kind of got to wonder what's going on there. All right. How many people are we talking? What's going on? What is this happening? Each council is dedicated to advancing Governor-Elect Mike Braun's vision and expanding freedom, opportunity for all Hoosiers. Below are the charters that guide each transition council's work, along with the membership of each council. All right, first up, the Business Affairs Transition Council. Charter, the Business Affairs Transition Council is focused on strengthening Indiana's reputation as a business-friendly environment by streamlining bureaucracy, cutting red tape, and enhancing customer service interactions between business owners and state regulators. The council aims to support Indiana's businesses by reducing obstacles and improving the efficiency and responsiveness of state services. The chair is Mike Speedy, a real estate developer, former state representative, former Indianapolis City County Councilor, and member of the Hope Commission for Higher Education. The membership of that council is Terry Baker, Thomas Lyons, Mike Mellon, Matt Morgan, Don Ricks, Bill Salen, Philip Succo, Mike Smith. Okay, and you can find more information at Braun Transition Team. All right, Commerce Transition Council. All right, the Commerce Transition Council. The charter, the Commerce Transition Council, is focused on driving economic growth across Indiana by fostering entrepreneurship and the identifying opportunities to support geographically diverse communities. The council aims to expand economic opportunities in every corner of the state by cultivating thriving environment for Hoosier entrepreneurs and encouraging community-level development. All right. The chair is Mitchell Frazier, CEO of Argy Novoros, Indiana, and former leader of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Which, listen, when I see the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, I immediately have an issue with that. I think that organization is a horrible organization and it needs to be disbanded. Okay, something else needs to be put in its place under Governor Mitch Daniels. All right, here's where we get to the interesting things. The membership here is Jake Adams, Steve Ackard, Devin Anderson, Brad Batten, Brad Bookout, okay, Tom Dekich, Harry Gorman, Greg Gibson, Larry Garrich, Brant Hirschman, Dave Kerr, Courtney Kingery, Mike Rutz, and Phil Smith. So this is where Brad Bookout has been tapped to be part of this Commerce Transition Council. Now, I want to stop here just for a second and say, we don't know what this means. Does this mean, first of all, when I see this, all right, I'm just going to be upfront honest with you. To me, this is just a transition team only. But I'm going to tell you, this plays with everything that we've been hearing. And when I say we, I mean politicos around Delaware County for the last 4 to 6 months. We have been hearing the rumor that Brad Bookout has been cozying up with the Braun team. And I'm going to tell you, I actually was cussed out by somebody who said that I was full of shit, that there's no way that this was happening, that, I didn't know what I was talking about. Brad Bookout is focused on Delaware County, yada, 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 and whatever. Okay. Now listen, maybe Bookout does not go to work for the administration. Maybe that does not happen. Maybe Bookout stays right here. But as of right now, seeing Bookout's name on this sheet, ding, it ticks a click off in my mind and lets me know, wait a minute, they didn't pick Ed Carroll for this. They didn't pick Brad's wife for this, who we always hear that it's not Brad, it's Brad's wife's company. Why didn't they pick Mrs. Bookout? It's because Brad's the man. Now, let me go back here to Mr. Nickham's ticket here. Okay. I'm afraid every fiber of the state is, yes. Yes. Code word for industrial solar. And we know the role Bookout played in Gaston. Absolutely, sir. Yes. Absolutely. This will be interesting. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Mr. Bookout. I think that Mr. Bookout is, I'm going to say this. Listen, he's not dumb. I'm not going to insult him. He is good at what he does. And what he does is a form of economic development. But even more than that, he is good at being a mover and shaker. He's good. He's kind of like that. The meme of a used car salesman. And I can say this because I have been a car salesman of both new and used vehicles. Brad Bookout is very much that, glad hand you and pat you on the back, tell you what you need to know, tell you what you need to hear to get the deal done kind of thing. He's a mover and a shaker. His business is people and knowing people and putting people in contact with people and people making money and putting money in his pocket. Backroom Bookout. Absolutely. Yes. So I'm very concerned about this. And I just I don't know. This is interesting. So the number one question I have here is he's made it into a situation where he was known enough and he was good enough to be tapped for the transition team. The question from here is, but will this lead to a position? All right. Right now we have let's see what do we got? Let's double check. We've got 31. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 38, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. We've got 47 days. We've got 47 days. 48, really. 48 days until January 1st. Technically, Bookout wouldn't need to do anything until, the first week of February, or the first week of January. We could be into January before we know if he's actually tapped for this position. Hell, he could even serve a month on the council and be tapped into February. The bottom line is, if he's known well enough to be in this circle, is this going to lead to something? And if it does, is Delaware County in a position to where we have to be able to strategize, and we have to be able to be in a position where we can put the best person forward? Listen, folks, the council is getting ready to be, when Ryan leaves the council, I'm afraid that we're going to be in a position where the council meetings are going to go down to 15, 20-minute long meetings. They're going to speed through the agenda. There's not going to be any questions asked. And we don't need another yes person. We don't need James King on there to have some kind of power fight with Jessica. We don't need Mike Jones. For the love of God, those men are dinosaurs. It's time to move on. Okay, we don't need somebody else that's beholden to Jessica and Ed. Okay, we need people on there that can bring Matt Kantz up, not work to help to pull him down. Matt Kantz could be a good council person, but he needs like-minded people on there to help bring him up. We at least need people on there that will ask questions and keep the citizens involved and informed. Okay? We don't need any more secrecy. We don't need any more of the same of what we're getting. We've got a good commissioner going into the commissioner's office in Stephen Brand. But he's going to be one of two votes. He's going to be fighting an uphill battle. I think he's good enough that he could maybe swing one or the other from time to time and do things, but he's going to be in an odd spot, because I'm telling you, and I'd like to find out, I'll have to ask him. I'd like to find out. Rumor has it that Sherry Riggin had a conversation with him at one point and told him, when you first come in, you need to sit back and listen and watch. Don't be coming in here. I don't know exactly what her words. She probably said it nicer than this, but I've heard basically she gave him a message where basically the gist of the message was, don't be coming in here trying to change over a bunch of stuff. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to go in and try to change over a bunch of stuff. We need to try to make the commissioner's office better. And from the way that he runs the sanitary district, I feel he has the capability. He will make it more user-friendly to the public. That's what we need of him. And Sherry and King and Shannon, well, they've just been disappointments. So time will tell. Time will tell. You're okay, Nick. Tim, that's perfectly fine. Add an hour to the meeting. We need people. Yeah, that's exactly right, David. That is exactly right. Now, the problem there being, sir, is the meetings are at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I understand it's tough. It's hard for people. People are at work, or people need to be at work, or people are asleep because they just got off from work, or people are asleep because they're going in at 3, or, I get it. It's tough. It is tough. So time will tell. Maybe Bookout doesn't even leave. Maybe he doesn't leave. Maybe this is getting the cart before the horse, but I'm letting you know. And Tweety Bird, as he shouldn't, because Sherry's not done anything in at least the last 4 years to show me that she's been worth a damn to listen to. She may have been good at one point, but she's ran out of, I think her give a damn is broken. I don't know why she ran for re-election this time. I think just being bored, honestly.
She uses the council meetings because or the commissioner meetings because they inspire her when she's writing that romance novel.
Her smut novels. Absolutely. That's exactly right. All right. So moving along here, just to give you guys the other ideas of who's on this team and what's going on here. Okay. So moving on, it goes on to the Constituent Services Transition Council. The Constituent Services Transition Council is focused on improving interactions between Hoosiers and their state government by conducting comprehensive review of constituent services across state agencies. Now, I love this idea. This is cool. What's this going to be about? The council will work to establish clear customer service standards for each agency. Check. Identify areas for improvement. Pack a lunch, boys and girls. And enhance the overall experience for Hoosiers engaging with state government. I love this. Chair is Lauren Mills, partner at Ice Miller, chair of the firm's Government Affairs Regulatory Law Group, former chief lobbyist. Oh, that's great. And senior policy director for then Governor Mitch Daniels and member of the Hope Health Family Services Review Team. Ice Miller, again, is a big law firm down in Indianapolis that really is just, when you hear Bose, McKinney, and Evans and you hear Ice Miller, really, that's just establishment. I mean, we're talking real thick establishment folks here. Okay. I hope that she's going to be great and will lead this team, and this team will be good. Time will tell. Brandon Clifton's on as a member. Chris Creighton, Nick Goodwin, Kyle Hupfer. Who's Kyle Hupfer? Kyle Hupfer is the former Republican Party chairman before Anne Hathaway was. Jennifer Pavlik, Julie Phillips, Joel Russell, not to be confused with Joe Russell, Democrat. This is Joel Russell, Anita Samuel, Brian Spalding, and Mike Woods. Okay. Some interesting folks here. The Education Transition Council. Education Transition Council is dedicated to ensuring high-quality education for all Hoosiers by raising standards in K through 12 higher education, expanding school choice, keeping curriculum focused on core education rather than political indoctrination, enhancing college and career readiness for high school graduates. And that chair is Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana's first Secretary of Education, head of the Indiana Department of Education, and chair of the Indiana State Board of Education. Members Caitlin Bell, Mackenzie Benford, Jeff Cardwell, Jason Clark, Robert Inlow, David Fagan, Larry Garatoni, John Hammond III, Jason Cloth, David Miller, Rick Wadja, and Tom Wheeler. Okay. And I'm familiar with a couple of those names. So that'll be interesting to see what they do there with education, because Indiana definitely needs a step in the right direction with education wise. Efficiency and Modernization Transition Council. This charter is dedicated, the council is dedicated to conducting a comprehensive review of Indiana state government to ensure Hoosier tax dollars are used efficiently and effectively. So this is going to be very similar, I guess, to the federal Doge group or agency or service or whatever. It's going to be with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. So this is interesting to me. The council will work to streamline bureaucracy, reduce regulatory burdens, embrace emerging technology, and foster a business-friendly environment that drives economic growth and makes Indiana an even better place to do business. Okay. Let's see here. The chair is Gus.
I'm sorry that you're excited about that. To me, that sounds like a scam.
Saying what?
Sounds like the IEDC.
Yeah, probably so. I'm not truthfully excited about any of this, because it's like we're just adding a lot more. Like, why have other people been able to do this with a transition team, and now you need a transition team and 12 councils of, like, how many people are we adding to this? Why so many people?
I said it sounds pretty, but it also sounds like it's just another layer of another version of the IEDC.
I was being facetious, but that's exactly correct. Really, the whole thing seems just overboard to me. I mean, these people are supposed to be about bringing government down, not creating all these other extra groups of people. This is all so much more bureaucracy. Every one of these things talks about bureaucracy. And it's like, what are you adding to the mix here? You know, and it's not like these people are going to be anything or, really do anything, but are they? Is that true? Maybe so, maybe not. Who knows? See here who's going to be helping Gus. Jonathan, Betchel, Bill, Hannah, Lisa Hirschman, Charlie, Hiltunen, Alicia Montesette Kemp, Mary Lee Springer, Scott Weaver, Josh Webb, John Westerkamp. That's an interesting person. He's from Madison County. Oh, Madison County people, hang tight, because you're going to see a name here in just a minute that you're going to be familiar with. Chuck Williams, Energy and Natural Resource Transition Council. This council is going to be committed to developing Indiana's abundant energy and recreational resources to lower utility costs and enhance Hoosier quality of life. The council will focus on leveraging Indiana's natural assets and to hey, Ohio, my eyes are up here, and to promote sustainable resource management and cost-effective solar energy. What is this? What in the solar is this? Okay, Jackie Bowman Ponder, Chief Legal Officer at Bowman Family Holdings, Inc., former General Counsel. Oh, another attorney. Oh, Solar Sources Mining, LLC, former member of the Executive Committee of Energy and Mineral Law Foundation. Gaston people, keep your eye on this. Royerton, keep your eye on this. Clint Hummel, keep your eye on this. Denise Spooner. Everybody that does not like what's going on in Indiana currently, keep your eye on all this. Okay, Mark Flint, John Ford, Ryan Heater, Jason Lynn, Scott Lodds, David McGimpsey, Om Narla, Stan Pinger, David Pippin, Matt Smorch, and Joe Sutherland. Health and Family Services Transition Council. Woo, it's dedicated to ensuring affordable, transparent, and high-quality health care for all Hoosiers. Aren't like 4 of these dealing with health care? Developing pro-family policies, faithful implementing of SEA1, special session, improving program delivery of the Family and Social Services Agency, Department of Child Services, and Department of Veterans Affairs. Gloria Sachdev, PharmD, President and CEO of Employers Forum of Indiana. Brian Bauer, Dr. Alex Choli, Dr. Jim Dalton, Heather Delgado, Don Fesco, Mike Fitcher, Jim Hamilton, Steve Holman, Dr. Tarek Kelah, Mitchell Rube, Dr. Jim Stevens, Mark Terrell, and George Whitwer. Lieutenant Governor-Elect Transition Council. All right. What do we got here? This is like, he's like, I don't trust Beckwith to be Beckwith, so we're going to put a whole council on him. Lieutenant Governor-Elect Transition Council's focused on keeping his crazy ass in check. It's focused on growing Indiana's agriculture. Okay. Industry by supporting producers, expanding markets, helping farmers pass their way of life to the next generation. The council is also committed to strengthening rural communities by reducing regulatory burdens and streamlining the grant application process through the Office of Community and Rural Development. The chair is Sherry Ellis, Chief of Staff designee for Lieutenant Governor-Elect Micah Beckwith and campaign manager for Micah for Lieutenant Governor campaign. Okay, now, this is interesting to me because there are actually some good people on this. There are good people and there are people that I don't like. So there's this Joseph Borka, which I like that kid, John Crabtree, Max Engling, Dinah, Furchman, Jody Golden, Omar, Habib is the guy that was running, Omar is who was running Beckwith's social media. Bill Kanya, Soval Menon, Jessica Messler, Christy Ormsby, Greg plus Aaron Sheridan and Eric Turner. All right. Local and Municipal Affairs Transition Council. This will be interesting to see what they do with Micah. If it's like, if they're just keeping him in check or if they're actually doing something. That's what I'll be looking for. Local and Municipal Affairs Transition Council. The Local and Municipal Affairs Transition Council is focused on building a strong partnership between state and local government in Indiana. Okay, I'm interested in this as well. Giving local leaders a seat at the table. I hate that phrase. In the incoming Braun administration, the council aims to address key issues, including local tax and financing and improve communities across the state. Brian Burdick, managing partner of the Indianapolis office of Barnes and Thornburg, LLP, a member of the Hope Policy Committee review team for the Office Management and Budget. David Bodorf, Tom Dermody, Matt Gentry. Matt Gentry is the mayor of where's he the mayor of? Where is he the mayor of? Stand by. I know he's the mayor of somewhere. Give me a second. He is the mayor of Lebanon. Okay. He is the man who, along with Holcomb, really spurred on the LEAP project. That whole ordeal of bringing the water from Tippecanoe, from around Lafayette and all that, down to the Lebanon area, all part of that Indiana economic development crap. Matt Gentry is establishment 100%. He is everything that is wrong with local government. And the fact that he's sitting on a committee to act as the go-between between local and state, whatever, okay? Matt Grivell, Nate Harder, some of these people are I think are being reused. Chris Jensen, Rachel Leslie, Maggie Machine, Terry Zietz, Ron Turpin, Steve Wolf, This is some of these people are interesting. Okay, Management and Budget Transition Council. The Management and Budget Transition Council is dedicated to securing Indiana's financial future by developing a balanced budget, enhancing efficiency through shared services, and implementing best value procurement practices. The council will focus on ensuring the state is on sound financial footing, driving whole of government efficiencies through shared services, and establishing best practices for effective fiscal management. Again, ladies and gentlemen, notice that we're not saying anything so far. None of this. Have you heard anything that relates to property tax? I've not heard anything here relating to property tax. However, this is one where you're going to find something interesting because Tara Klutz, the chief financial officer at Gaylor Electric, and former state auditor comptroller, Allen County auditor and chief deputy auditor, is the chair. Paul Balzel, Lana Kiesling, Luke Leasing, Ted Nolting. Does anybody know Ted Nolting? The name of Ted Nolting? Does Ted Nolting ring a bell? Ted Nolting, ladies and gentlemen, is the attorney from Madison County. He's the guy that everybody always says, who's that guy in the blue suit that doesn't look like he's feeling too well? Who's that guy that looks like he has the mange? He's the guy that yelled at he's the attorney that yelled at the female attorney, Lorraine White, in Tuesday's meeting. It's interesting that Ted Nolting is on this. Very, very, very interesting. And it's interesting, Kate. I see here in the comments that for Tim, you polled the people who won in this last. So let me tell you what goes on here, folks. Precinct committee people are always, for some unknown reason, listen, if the parties wanted to somehow elect them without having tax dollars foot the bill for their election, then I wouldn't care. But until they're taken off the ballot, and while we are paying for their elections, I feel like they should absolutely tell the public who they are. They hold these people close to the vest. These are the people who won. However, there's still a whole big list of people who we don't know. People who the party has appointed, the vice chairs and all of this stuff that they will not tell us. They don't want people to know because they don't want people that caucus for seats to be able to go and campaign for themselves. So they don't let anybody know. So the big coup that we need to poll is we need to find a way to get a current list. And I would like to get a current list of Republican precinct committee people in Delaware County and a current list of Democrat precinct committee people in Delaware County. I'd like to get a current list in Madison of both Republican and Democrat, and a current list in all over East Central Indiana. That way we would have that for any caucusing that goes on. We can always get the word out to those people. If you're someone out there that has access to a complete list, get it to me, provide that to me in private, and no one will ever know you did it. Okay? Figure out a way, email it to me, send it to me, and I promise you we will do it without anyone knowing that you sent it to me, because I would like to put that together. I think that as long as tax dollars are footing the bill for the election, we need to know, because they're not technically elected officials in the form of, like, they don't do anything that specifically has anything over the population at whole. They are a party position. However, we do foot the bill for their elections, so it's kind of a problem that we have them over a barrel there, but they still like to keep that stuff really close to the vest. They don't like to let that information out. Okay. Public Safety Transition Council. The Public Safety Transition Council is focused on protecting every Hoosier with priorities including school safety, support for law enforcement, crime prevention, federal partnership of immigration enforcement to protect Indiana communities. Danny Price, founder of the Price Consulting Group, LLC, and 34-year veteran of the Indiana State Police. Lloyd Arnold, Jeff Ballin, Rob Carter, Kip Clark, Lance Hamner. Oh, yes. Pat Harrington, Tim Horty, Tony Murray, Chris Naylor, Martin Umbarger, Lance Waters, and Travis Yike. That's kind of an interesting grouping of people. Transportation and Infrastructure Council, Transition Council, is focused on strengthening Indiana as the crossroads of America by identifying sustainable funding to maintain, improve, expand the state's infrastructure without raising taxes. The council's work includes investing in broadband solutions for all regions of Indiana and enhancing customer service at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Matt Ubelhor, former Indiana House of Representative for District 62, former senior manager at Peabody Energy and member of the Hope Energy and Agriculture team. John Brand, Kenny Burke, Bryce Carpenter, Chris Coyle, Dent Johnson, Gary Langston, Joe McGinnis, Tim Miller, Kent Moore, Randy Palmater. The Transition Council will work closely with current administration officials to review future initiatives, assess state agency operations, and develop policy recommendations for the incoming administration. Our focus is on preparing to implement the Governor-Elect's vision for Indiana's future alongside talented individuals who are dedicated to efficiently and effectively serving the people of Indiana. The Transition Chair Victor Smith. We appreciate these leaders volunteering their time and expertise to the future of the Hoosier State. So currently, this is just a volunteer position. So this position in and of itself will not be a full-time position, and it will not be a job that causes him to leave the Delaware County Council. However, I just do not believe that a man like Bradley Bookout, who is still very career-driven, power-hungry, money-hungry, is not working himself into something that will better himself. With the rumor having been started in June or July of this year, several months ago, this was on the table. And so, it's just something to consider. Obviously, it goes on to talk about the transition team, which I named with you guys. And additional members may be added to these councils in the coming weeks, it says. So there's a transition council at brauntransition.com. You can go there and you can read this. You can look at it. You can decide for yourself what's going on. Then there's a page that tells you who Mike Braun is, in case you didn't know. So go check that out for yourself. It is there. I also posted about this on social media, so you can find the post on social media there. It is interesting. You should definitely give it a read, give it a full read. I'm going to be very interested to see what comes of this, what this big, long grouping of people does. I didn't count how many people this was in total, but it's a lot of people. You've got 12 transition groups. Each transition group, or each council, or whatever you want to call it. So there's 12 chairs, and then there's 5, 6, 7 members in each council. Not to mention, there's also the actual transition team. Plus, there's Braun and Beckwith's like core team that's around them. This is a lot of people doing what? What exactly are they going to be doing? You know, I know it told us there, but what's the day-to-day activity of these people going to be? And moreover, will this lead to a full-time position in which Bookout would be offered that position? And if so, will he resign? And if so, where does that lead Delaware County? Now, Delaware County Republican Party is in complete shambles, so I think it's going to be interesting, and I think this is definitely going to make for an interesting next couple of weeks and months. What I say, 45 days, 47 days, 48 days. You know, that's going to be here before you know it. So it's going to be really interesting. We will have to see. Before we end, it's over 100 people drawing paychecks and pretending to be important. So that's the one thing. They won't technically be getting paychecks. So that is good. Thank God. Thank God. It is volunteer, or at least they're telling us it's volunteer. You know, we'll have to check into that. And again, we'll have to see how many, because look, at the end of the day, Braun will have to fill an administration. I mean, you know, that's just going to happen. And he has said that some of his administration that he would probably keep over from Holcomb. I don't know if I necessarily like that or I don't like that. It is what it is. I mean, the people are only as good or bad as the actual leader is, the actual person who was elected. So, you know, it's up to Braun, I guess. But, you know, there will be people that he does have to select, and will Bookout be one of those people? Time will tell. The campaign won't be. Yeah, who, you know, that's very interesting, because being part of the transition team, I very much think the campaign could pay them. So, you know, I guess they call, you know, there are people that work for campaigns that are called volunteers, but they actually do get paid. So that's a very good question. I want to end just by also saying this has been out for a minute, but I want to put this up and show you guys this, that while Braun has been attempting to grow the Indiana government and adding on all of these transition councils and selecting the very best and brightest of all of these different areas. While that's been going on, his lieutenant governor-elect has been running around being the same little pompous.
The word you're looking for is
asshole.
ass.
All right, yeah, that's what I was trying to say it. I was trying to decide if I was going to say it or not. I want to show you this, folks, okay? This is a really weird thing. So, the Indiana Daily Student. The Indiana Daily Student is a newspaper put out by the Indiana University College, by IU Indiana University. And I'm sure, like a lot of, you know, higher education centers, that they're plenty woke, plenty left, and it is what it is. Okay. They put together this article. And what's funny about this is I don't read nor have I ever read an article from the IU Daily Student. Matter of fact, until yesterday, this was the first article I think I've ever read from them when I actually sat down and read this article. I'm sure there's a lot of things about the IDS that I don't like. And look, this has got Donald Trump, and they've got some words, a defiant 9-year-old kid, a danger for the United States, moron, the guy who tried to overtake the government has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, fascist. He tries to divide us. His own ego ahead of everything else. Wannabe dictator, admires autocrats and murderous dictators. His former allies say he's unfit for office. He still won. That's what the thing says.
Okay, but I want you to notice something about all of those words. What do you notice about them all?
Well, they are quotes.
They're quotes.
Yeah,
they're quotes.
Yeah. So
they're quoting what was said in the left media.
Well, clearly, and maybe even some Republicans, I'm sure. So it says his former allies say he's unfit for office. He still won. So listen,
you can take that left. You could take that right.
Yeah. Like, look,
that's in reading actually this, a very neutral.
Yeah, if you don't read the article, and as long as you read this like we read in America, from left to right, from top to bottom, you cannot decide, you cannot say if this article is
left or
right-leaning propaganda, left-leaning propaganda, straight news. You cannot tell what this is.
No.
Period.
No, because if you turn on Fox News and watch Fox News, what have they been talking about?
Sure, they would say
they've talking about
fascist. They've called him. They say,
Yep.
Yeah.
All those things have been coming up on the right-wing media.
Yep.
So this cover to me is fairly innocuous.
Yeah. Absolutely. This. Yeah. The cover means nothing. Now, the article is, and while you're on here, no, pop up here real quick, because you also read the article too, didn't you?
Well, there's an actual article, and then there's an editorial in the paper as well.
Yeah, and the article from your point of view, I want to see if it's, because I've read them too. The article was
slightly left leaning,
slightly left of
fairly
center.
Straight news.
Yeah, right. It's not Fox. It's not, it's not the Epoch Times or whatever.
No, and it wasn't MSNBC either.
It wasn't. Yeah, right.
You could tell there was a slight left slant to it toward the very end of the article.
Yeah,
the last couple of paragraphs, but up to that point, it's fairly straight.
That's what I got.
And then the other article that's in there is an editorial, and it's right underneath the the byline of opinion page.
Yeah. It is left leaning, but it is an editorial.
Yeah, it's an editorial, and it says opinion page.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's it
is what it is.
Yeah, you find those left, right, wherever, you're going to find whatever leaning a newspaper has. If they're honest and they're publishing editorial, you're going to have left and right editorial.
Yeah, right. All right.
But the paper itself was fairly straight, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
And for a college where you tend to have the more left, this is actually was well done, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And it's not even real, if just going off the cover, this cover is not the university saying. First of all, it has got nothing to do with the university. The paper is in and of itself. The university came out and said that we have no editorial control of the paper. They do as they please. They do what they want. Yada, yada, yada. All right. So it is what it is. Listen, I don't care. I don't care what's inside the paper. The front of this paper is true. Now, careful. I'm not saying he's a moron. He's a fascist. He tried to divide us. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's true. It's true. People have said these things about him. And right down here, the actual writing that is not in quotes, this is the right here. There's only 1, 2, 3 things on here that are not quotes. The logo, and then this little blurb here. His former allies say he's unfit for office, period. He still won, period. Okay. All of those are true statements. All of those statements are true. And it is true that these have all been said about him. Well, Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith apparently has a reading comprehension issue. He shared this and he said, this is from the Indiana Daily Student, the student newspaper at Indiana University after Trump won. Your tax dollars at work. They called him a moron, a fascist, and a threat to democracy. Even though we aren't a democracy, but I still don't expect students at IU to know that. This is woke propaganda at its finest. And while most of America looks at higher education and doctrinization centers like IU as a complete joke and a waste of money, this type of elitist, leftist propaganda needs to stop. Or we will be happy to stop it for them. What does that mean? Does that mean if Micah Beckwith doesn't like what I say, he, as lieutenant governor, is going to try to stop me?
I'm sorry. What is it that fascists do again?
They try to divide and stop and
take away free
censor,
speech,
and take away
censor.
free. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand.
You could read this cover, and you could read it from a right-wing perspective.
Yeah.
And that thing down at the end, his former ally said he was unfit, and he still won.
Yeah. Or you could read it
from the left.
And say,
oh my God,
stuff.
He still won. All these
still
things.
Won. What are we going to do? Yeah, right.
You could read this from either way.
Mm-hmm.
With the right giving a middle finger to the left for all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Or the left having a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what I don't think.
It's a well done cover.
Yeah.
Because you could read that either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let me tell you what you can't read either way. I don't think that you can read either way, which is this type of elitist leftist propaganda needs to stop, or we will be happy to stop it for them. Look, I don't want Tweety Bird to be silenced. We don't block people here. I don't want people who have different opinions than me to be silenced. I don't want to be silenced. I would fight to the death for my First Amendment right. And why this student of history, this self-proclaimed constitutional conservative, does not understand that saying stuff like this makes him seem like an absolute jackass, I will never, ever, ever understand. But I am telling you, as much as I don't like Braun, Braun would be better served if he isn't planning on hiding this dope away. He would be better served to start thinking about doing it. Because, listen, to all of you Micah lovers out there, how can you be okay with him talking about silencing someone? You know what the right says all the time? You can't stop someone from saying the N-word. You know, the First Amendment, it allows you to know who the idiots are. You know, let them say what they want to say. At least you'll know who to stay away from. The same thing goes with the left, man. If they're left and you don't agree, don't listen, don't watch, don't read. But you don't get to shut them up. You don't get to stop them. No more than someone on the left gets to stop me, or someone on the right, or someone in the middle, or someone upside down or inside out. To hell with this. Beckwith is in the Sproul zone. He just can't get out of his own way. He's so in a hurry to say the big cool thing to get the people to cheer for him and say, yeah, that a boy. That's the way, that's the ticket. And the sad thing is, he's created this situation, power tripping, absolutely. He's created this echo chamber of people around him that they're too afraid to disagree with him. They won't disagree with him. They might be like, oh man, I don't like that one, but you know.
But you know what? It's comments like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's comments like anybody that puts pronouns after their signature is getting fired.
Yeah.
Comments like that are why Braun is going to put him in the fucking basement.
Yeah, right. Right. It's also comments like that which cause people to call Trump fascist. And this because they look at Beckwith. Beckwith says, I'm a MAGA. I like Trump. Trump. And they think, well, man, if this guy is so in love with Trump, he must be getting this from Trump. He must be hearing this from Trump. Now, listen, I get it. Trump says all the time, like, that dirty media, the media, you know, media. Look, if Beckwith wants to call them dirty, if Beckwith wants to call them, you know, names, I'm cool with that. Awesome. Call them names. I call them names. I love it. But Beckwith, I call him the boy wonder. The boy blunder maybe would be better. He's an idiot. This is pure stupidity. Look, I'm out here trying to convince people Trump is not going to stop you from being able to divorce your husband. Trump is not going to lock up the black guy whose great grandmother was born here in Indiana. He's not going to send him back someplace because he's black. And Micah's going around saying, oh boy, you're a boy and you like kissing boys. That's like alcoholism. That's like you've been hit on the head. That's like a brain disorder. Saying he's going to stop people from sharing opinions that he does not like. That's insane. Yeah, there's no taking. I want to know what Rob Kendall thinks of this. Rob, what do you think of this? There is no taking it out of context. It's right there in black and white. It's his words. What's really stupid is his reading ability. I can't pronounce names for shit and stumble over words all the time. That's just that. But I can read to myself and be just fine. His reading comprehension on this is horrible. The fact that he was not able to see this and see that those are all quotes and see this for what it is nuts. But then again, we keep telling him why, whatever. Let's stop doing that for a second. Let's say for the sake of argument, let's just say for the sake of argument here, all right, that the quotes weren't there. Let's say the Indiana Daily Student put Trump's head up there and said, fascist moron, and this is, they're running a bunch of opinions, or who knows until you open it up, what they're doing. I am still not in favor of Micah Beckwith or anyone from the government saying this needs to stop or we will make it stop. We will shut you down. Screw you, Micah. Yeah, that's right, Kate. I don't like or agree everything that comes out. I don't agree with most of what 90%, 99%, 98% of what comes out of the left. But I'm not trying to shut them down. This is the thing. We do not need to hurt ourselves by these self-inflicted wounds, by these fumbles, by our own stupidity. Because we're going to be getting it every other which way. And in ending this, I want to say, I was talking to Brando tonight. Brandon, we're talking about the state of the state here in Indiana. And it's funny to me because I don't have a problem saying this as a right-leaning constitutionalist, constitutionally minded, conservative libertarian. I don't have any problem saying that 95, 98% of all of the problems here at the state level in Indiana are the fault of Republicans. I have no problem saying that. Now, me saying that does not necessarily mean that I want a whole shitload of Democrats to replace them. It just means I want better Republicans. I want a better kind of public servant. I don't care where they are, as long as they are better all the way around. You know? I would like a better model of Republican, some real conservatives, maybe some decent libertarians would be nice. You know, there are some Democrats right now in the state house that are acting more conservative than the Republicans, and it's crazy to me when that happens. And you know, the state level Indiana Republicans don't have anyone but themselves to blame for the various things that have gone wrong in Indiana, but they will never admit that. And since they don't really have any Democratic opposition to run against, it basically leaves them to campaign against one rather strange group of individuals. And the group of individuals with which who the Republicans at the state level in Indiana have campaigned against for the last 2, 4, 6 years, campaign cycles, is the National Democrats. They've been campaigning against the National Democrats. They haven't had any local Democrats. They haven't. It's a Republican super duper 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 majority. There's like 2.2 Democrats anywhere to be found in Indiana. So, and they won't admit they have problems within their own ranks. So they've had to pick a boogeyman to fight with. And they either fight with their individuals, the citizens, which they do that a lot. But the majority of the people that they campaign against have been the National Democrats, which is stupid because that's got nothing to do with them. That's not their fight. They're punching up and out of the ring and into a whole nother boxing arena. Stupid. The one good thing about this most recent election is come midterm, 2 years from now, the Indiana Republicans that are at the state level, they will have nothing to bitch about because the local officials are all Republicans. The state officials are all Republicans. And it's Trump in the White House, Republican Senate, Republican House. There is no Democrats for as far as the eye can see. So literally, they are going to have to do what they say, or they're going to have to pack their bags and get out because they're not going to be able to blame it on anything but their own stupidity. And as Brando said, it's time for the Indiana Republicans to either nut up or shut up. And for that, I am very happy. And I cannot say enough that we will be here to let you know all about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this evening. If they're using taxpayer monies to produce that shot, they should be made to stop using that money. First, wait, no. David Williams, I thought I was getting ready to be done, but I can't be. What do you mean? What do you mean, dude? Producing what shit are you talking about? And all this cover is a Fox News cover. I could pull up Tim Pool. I could pull up Paul Bet David. I could pull up Glenn Beck for the last 6 months who have said these exact same things. People on the left have said this about Trump. people on the left have said this. Some people that Trump liked even came out and they said this about him. That's all this paper's doing in this article. This article saying nothing about Trump.
Well, how many right-leaning newspapers or news media, after Biden's comment, their headline was garbage?
Yeah.
This is the headline.
Yeah.
But they're putting it in quotes. And
yeah.
And even if it had not been in quotes.
Yeah.
If you want to cut government funding for stuff, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But we don't get to pick and choose based on what they're putting out, what the content is that they're putting out.
Right.
Cut it all, or you have to let it all go. Otherwise, it's viewpoint discrimination, and it goes against the First Amendment.
Yeah. That's it. I can't say it better than that. I agree with her all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us for this evening. Remember, the 15th of November, tomorrow. It's only a day away. Remember, here is all of the information that you need. We will be on at 8 p.m. in the evening. That is 8 p.m. Eastern. And you can go directly to, you must be way behind us. Sorry. Okay. When you hear this, we've got some kind of a weird delay there, David. You'll find it when you hear this. Okay. So you can find this episode at bit.ly/331 West Dell Wastewater, all one word, no spaces, or simply pick up your phone and scan the QR code, and it will take you right there. You can find us on Rumble, find us on YouTube, find us on X, find us on Facebook, and everywhere else in between. You can find us everywhere. This is already there. Going to be tomorrow. I'm scared shitless. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We're going to learn a lot, and we'll see what happens. A pack of lunch. We're going to start at 8. It'll definitely be a 2.5 hour, 3 hour show, probably. Hopefully not, but we'll see. We're just going to let it go and take it where it goes. So until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Have a great day on Friday at work. Tomorrow night, we'll sit back, relax, and learn about the shit water or lack thereof, whatever the deal is going on at the West Dell Community School Corporation. Until then, take care. God bless. Good night. Goodbye. We'll see you later.